We've all felt it. The subtle tightening of our wallets, the creeping anxiety as we check our bank balances. It's a sensation that has become all too familiar. A feeling of our money not going as far as it used to. Each pound seems to stretch thinner and thinner, leaving us wondering where it all went. The weekly shop seems to cost a small fortune. What used to be a routine errand now feels like a strategic mission to find the best deals and avoid the most expensive items. Filling up the car feels like a luxury. The rising fuel prices make every trip to the petrol station a painful experience, forcing many to reconsider their travel plans. And don't even get me started on energy bills. The cost of heating our homes and keeping the lights on has surged, leaving many households in a state of constant worry. The cost of living in the UK is skyrocketing, and millions are feeling the pinch. It's a nationwide issue that affects everyone, from young families to retirees. But what exactly is driving this crisis, and why does it seem like everything is so expensive? The answers are not simple, and the factors are numerous. The cost of living crisis is a complex issue with many contributing factors. It's a perfect storm of economic pressures that have converged to create a challenging environment for consumers. It's not just about individual price increases, but a broader trend of essential goods and services becoming increasingly unaffordable for a significant portion of the population. This trend is reshaping the way we live and forcing many to make difficult choices. This essay will delve into the heart of the UK's cost of living crisis, exploring the key drivers and their profound impacts on our lives. We'll look at how these factors interplay and what it means for the average household. From soaring energy bills to rising food prices, the pressure on households has never been greater. The financial strain is palpable, and it's changing the way we approach our daily lives. We'll examine the factors at play, from global supply chain disruptions to the ongoing energy price shock. These issues are not isolated, they are interconnected and have far-reaching consequences. Understanding the root causes of this crisis is crucial to finding solutions and navigating these challenging times. By breaking down the complexities, we can better prepare ourselves and advocate for meaningful change. So let's break down this complex issue and shed light on why so many in the UK are struggling to make ends meet. Together we can uncover the underlying problems and work towards a more sustainable future. The cost of living crisis isn't just about prices going up, it's about those prices rising faster than people's incomes. This phenomenon is creating a significant strain on households across the country. This means that even if you're earning the same amount of money as you were a year ago, you're effectively worse off because your money buys you less. The purchasing power of your income diminishes, making it harder to afford the same goods and services. This squeeze on household budgets is what makes the current situation so challenging for millions of people. Families are finding it increasingly difficult to make ends meet, leading to heightened stress and anxiety. At its core, the cost of living crisis is a matter of affordability. It's not just about the numbers on price tags, it's about the real impact on people's lives and their ability to sustain a reasonable quality of life. When the prices of essentials like food, energy and housing outpace wage growth, it creates a gap between what people earn and what they need to spend just to get by. This gap forces families to make tough choices, often sacrificing one necessity for another. This gap, often referred to as the affordability gap, is at the heart of the crisis. It's a persistent issue that affects the day-to-day lives of ordinary people, making it harder to plan for the future. Imagine a family struggling to put food on the table or heat their homes, even though both parents work full-time. This scenario is becoming increasingly common, highlighting the severity of the crisis. These are the real-life consequences of the cost of living crisis, and they are impacting people across all walks of life. From young professionals to retirees, no one is immune to the effects of rising costs and stagnant wages. We need to move beyond simply acknowledging rising prices and understand that this crisis is fundamentally about people's ability to afford a decent standard of living. It's about ensuring that everyone has access to the basic necessities without having to compromise on their well-being. Addressing this issue requires a comprehensive approach involving policy changes, support systems and community efforts to bridge the affordability gap and provide relief to those most affected. The UK's cost of living crisis is a result of a perfect storm of factors colliding simultaneously. This crisis has been brewing for some time, and now the convergence of these elements has created a situation that is difficult for many to navigate. These factors are intertwined and have created a domino effect, pushing prices higher and putting immense pressure on household budgets. Families are finding it increasingly challenging to make ends meet as the cost of everyday essentials continues to rise. It's not just one thing. It's a combination of global events and domestic policies that have created this challenging situation. The interplay between international incidents and local decisions has exacerbated the problem, making it more complex and harder to resolve. First, the COVID-19 pandemic caused significant disruptions to global supply chains. The virus spread rapidly, leading to widespread lockdowns and restrictions that halted normal economic activities. Lockdowns and restrictions led to factory closures, reduced production, and transportation bottlenecks. This meant that goods could not be produced or moved as efficiently as before, creating a backlog that affected the availability of products. This created shortages of goods and materials, driving up prices worldwide. Consumers faced empty shelves and higher costs for the items that were available, adding to the financial strain. Think of it like a traffic jam in the global flow of goods, causing delays and higher costs. Ships were stuck at ports, unable to unload their cargo, which further disrupted the supply chain and contributed to rising prices. Second, the war in Ukraine has had a profound impact on energy prices, particularly for natural gas. The conflict has not only caused human suffering, but also disrupted energy supplies that many countries, including the UK, rely on. Russia is a major gas supplier to Europe, and the conflict has led to sanctions and reduced supplies, sending energy prices soaring. The reduction in gas flow has forced countries to seek alternative, often more expensive sources of energy. This has had a ripple effect throughout the UK economy as businesses face higher operating costs, which are often passed on to consumers in the form of higher prices for goods and services. Small businesses in particular are struggling to cope with these increased expenses, and many are forced to raise their prices to stay afloat. The combined impact of these factors means that households are now spending a larger portion of their income on basic necessities, leaving less for other expenses. This has led to difficult choices and sacrifices for many families as they try to manage their budgets in these challenging times. Policymakers are under immense pressure to find solutions to alleviate the crisis. They are exploring various measures to stabilize the economy and provide relief to those most affected. However, the complexity of the situation means that there are no easy answers, and it will take time to see significant improvements. In the meantime, community support groups and charities are stepping in to help those in need. Food banks and other assistance programs are seeing increased demand as more people seek help to get through these tough times. The resilience and solidarity of communities are crucial in navigating this crisis together.